Hey, everybody, welcome to the True Crime Squad. I'm Kristi Brower, here with my sister, co host, and partner in all things crime, and birthday girl this week, Katie Weaver. Hey, Katie.
Hello.
How's it going?
Well, I mean, being that I'm the birthday girl this week, pretty damn good.
Right? That's a good week to have.
I guess. I mean, 46. What? I don't know how it keeps happening. It's your fault because you keep having birthdays, which means I have to keep having birthdays to keep up with you.
Well, and I guess the only thing that you can feel good about is that you will always be younger than me.
It's true.
So,
It's true.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
most
but yeah,
definitely.
I am good. It is really cool here in Idaho. Like hoodie weather cool. It's
Like,
so weird.
we have a frost warning overnight.
Yeah.
Cool.
I know. God, that worries me about the crops and about people's gardens, and that
I
sucks.
know. This
What the
sucks. I mean, it
hell?
happens, but no
Yeah.
one likes it when it does. I hope my trees are okay.
Right. Well, they're calling for snow in Yellowstone this week.
Yeah. How
Very
weird is
weird.
that? So
Really
weird.
weird. But I'm not minding the
Well,
cooler weather.
it's been really nice, but it kind of
Yeah.
goes along with the theme of today's episode, which is just an overarching, oh, Idaho.
hmm
We
Idaho
we be
is,
struggling over here, friends.
yeah. A couple weeks ago, we did a whole episode about Utah, and
hmm
we said Utah is not okay. Uh, bro, Idaho is not okay. Holy
No,
shit.
no, it is not, and we have a whole lot to get to regarding that. So I
Well,
think
and
we're going
we're
to
only
start.
bringing 3 cases and could have easily brought 6.
Yeah, easily.
Easily brought 6.
Easily. So we might as well get started, Katie, with the little
hmm
segment we like to call Oh, Idaho.
Do you guys remember a while back when domestic terrorists were shooting out or attempting to shoot out power stations in other states? I believe there was one
Yeah,
in Virginia that actually like took a whole town out for a while with power and caused a bunch of medical emergencies and things. Well,
yeah,
guess
there's been
what?
several.
Some fool has tried that here.
Of course they have.
It's this guy right here.
Looks like a real stable genius to me.
I'm afraid that's exactly right. So apparently on June 8th, Adams County received a report of a male shooting at a power generating facility in the Hells Canyon corridor. Hells Canyon? Yeah, that Hells Canyon.
hmm
Damage was sustained to both Brownlee and Hells Canyon power equipment. Luckily, nobody was injured, and they were actually didn't manage to knock any power out, but they did injure equipment, of course. Uh, so then it took a coordinated effort between lots of jurisdictions here for them to be able to get a hold of him. And they seized multiple firearms from him. And then they searched his home and discovered some more stuff. So let's get into it a little bit more. This is just the press release from the Adams County Sheriff's Office, but
hmm
let's get into it a little bit more. He's actually from Meridian, Idaho, which is in the Treasure Valley area, the Boise area.
hmm
He's facing 3 felony charges in 2 counties. So he shot a rifle at 2 electrical substations. He was on a motorcycle. So he shot at one and then fled straight to the other one and shot at that and then fled from police. He also had potentially explosive devices on him. So his
Holy
name is
shit.
Randy Vail. He's 58. He's been charged in Washington County with attempting to flee law enforcement and possession of a bomb or destructive device.
Whoa.
Yeah, like he was really up to no good. He also has a malicious injury to property charge in Adams County. Honestly, there should be higher crimes for this. And maybe there will be. This might just be the beginning. But what
hmm
the hell?
That's just terrifying.
Mhm. According
His
to his
attempt at
LinkedIn,
wiping out our power grid is really, really frightening from within.
from within, it's really scary Really scary. You think about what it does to communities when the power goes out,
Yeah.
and particularly people that
Ask
have
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
yeah,
They're out this week, and some people are gonna be out clear till Friday.
yeah,
It's awful.
yeah, it's terrible. Besides the fact that it causes food insecurity, it causes health insecurity for a lot of people who have to have power to run their medical devices and things like that. It
Mhm,
also in very hot areas, then people can't run their air conditioning, or in cold areas their heat. There's a lot of reasons why this puts lives in danger
oh, yeah.
and just creates chaos in general, and that seems to be the goal.
Mhm.
So,
Destabilizing our infrastructures, that's
yes. Yep. So law enforcement said that they found two tire repair cans that are used to hold compressed air that smelled of gasoline.
mm,
So they said the canisters were attached to the motorcycle with ratchet straps. They asked Vail if they were bombs, and he said that they were gas canisters for the motorcycle. Only they're not. That's not what those are for.
what?
Yeah.
Sounds like something he was trying to blow up.
So that yeah, the Nampa bomb squad had to come out and move the canisters. Luckily nobody was hurt. Thank God nobody was hurt. But
Yeah.
the sheriff's offices from Meridian, the FBI, as well as from Washington and Adams County, have all worked together. They did have a search warrant on his home, and excuse me, uh, when he was arrested, he told the police he did not understand his Miranda rights and refused to sign a notification of his rights. Oh, sure. He's probably
Oh,
one of
one of
those,
these geniuses.
yep, he's one of these, what do they call themselves?
Sovereign,
Sovereign
whatever.
citizens. That's right. I'll bet you he is. That's his
Mhm.
classification for himself. Yeah.
Well, you go to prison whether you're a sovereign citizen or not for doing
Yep.
some dumb shit like this.
Yep. So the Idaho Power says that this is an isolated event. They don't think there's any other threats to their critical infrastructure. Well, yeah, I hope not, but I don't know that you knew that this was coming either, bro. So I'm not sure that you can really say that. But at any rate, they're working to repair their system and make sure that everybody's power stays on. But I think this is really worth paying attention to. Idaho is becoming, especially like northern Idaho, but it's really bleeding down into all of these counties, kind of a hotbed for alt right, dramatic, radical people that are moving to the state or that already have lived here that are really being empowered to do scary shit. And this is
Well, northern Idaho's always been known for skinheads and gun runners, so, I
right.
mean, I don't think we're too far off the mark with this new brand of
Hmm.
domestic terrorism.
Hmm. I'm afraid so.
Not that everybody in northern Idaho is like that, I know they're
Oh,
not.
no, there's lots of wonderful people there, but, there's been a huge push there to try to close one of their community colleges out of extremism, which is
Mhm.
really scary. Some of their hospitals are trying to close. They've had to close a bunch of their maternity wards. There's a lot of things happening right now that indicate that Idaho is not okay, but this, I think,
No.
is scary. This is the kind of stuff that, we really need to keep an eye on, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that nobody was hurt and glad that they were able to get a hold of him before he did something with those devices that he had strapped to his bike. What in
Yeah.
the world? According to his LinkedIn, he is in the bishopric of a Mormon church
Mm.
and by all accounts seemed to be a pretty normal guy, but no, he's
Doesn't
not. He's
seem
an
so.
extremist. I
Yeah.
really hope that those
It's
charges increase. That is not enough. I would
yeah.
imagine they
No,
do,
not at
though.
all.
That's probably just the start. But because there hasn't been a, we don't know what they found when they searched his home. That was probably hair raising on its own. So
I would imagine. Yeah.
there you have it. Well, I'm going to kick the mic back over to you for yet another part of our show today called Oh, Idaho.
Mhm. Friends, there's been an absolute tragedy in Kellogg, Idaho, also northern,
Mm,
uh, perpetrated by this man right here. His name is Majorjon Kaylor. Uh, Let me be clear, he's not a major in anything. Major John Martin Kaylor is his name.
mhm. Well, he's a major in
Actually,
something. A major
yeah.
jackass.
If you look right here, it says Savage. That's what that tattoo above his eyebrow says. The name is super confusing, but he is not a major of anything. That is literally his name, and he runs Majorjon together as one word as his first name. He goes by
Mhm.
Majorjon, and I think a lot of people call him Major.
His wife
Well,
seems to, from things she's posted on Facebook.
yes, yeah. Well, unfortunately, on Sunday, police responded to a duplex where they
Mhm.
discovered an entire family of 4 shot to death.
Yeah.
They did arrest Majorjon Kaylor for these shootings, and he is said to have admitted to it to the police. So he saw a judge today, yeah, today, where he was charged with 4 counts of first degree murder and 1 count of burglary.
Hmm.
So the family who was killed lived in they lived in a duplex. So Major John's family lived above on the top floor, and the Guardape family lived below them.
Hmm.
And that was Kenneth and Kenna Guardape, along with Devin Smith and his younger brother, who we're just referring to as AS because he's a minor,
Hmm.
were all shot and killed. So, literally, the people that lived below him.
Yeah.
So, we did a little looking into what possibly could have, you know, started this. And there are some social media posts from his wife that kind of answer this. That is not the one I want. Sorry. Let me get all my stuff together. So basically, what's going on is there have been some incidents between the son of Devin Smith, and his and then the children of Majorjon Kaylor. Well, really, and his wife.
Hmm.
The accusation is that Mrs. Kaylor and their children were out in their backyard when Devin Smith was masturbating in the window of his bedroom, where looking directly at these children, and where they could all see it happening.
Hmm.
Now, I'm going to say this because I think it's important that we say this. Devin Smith was not actually ever charged with anything.
Hmm.
These things were reported to the police. We don't know for sure. We can't guarantee that they did in fact happen, but this is the story that's rolling out of Kellogg about why this happened.
Yeah.
So this is a social media post from Kaylee Kaylor, Major John's wife, and this post was posted several days prior to the shooting. She said, "So we got new downstairs neighbors 2 weeks ago. They have 2 teenage boys. One just graduated, and the other one does next year. We share a backyard. My kids stay on their side, but they are out there a lot. They jump on the trampoline with the sprinkler almost every single time the older boy goes outside on his porch and seems to be watching them. I tried to brush it off since it's their yard too, but my mama gut couldn't shake it. I was outside with her children, coloring with chalk in our backyard tonight when one of the girls says, 'Mom, the boy is in the window.' And let's see. And she seemed shocked. I say, 'Yes, it's their house. It's fine.' And she goes, 'No, Mom, the boy is shaking his penis.' This dude was staring out the window directly at my girls and I and beating his dick off. I saw his naked body jump up on his bunk bed and scoot back. I make an effort not to look in their windows. So the fact that he was standing right in front of it and my daughters saw everything is absolutely disgusting, especially because she was on the opposite side of our climbing dome, as far away in the yard as she could be on our side, not even close to his window. Why were you why were you staring in their direction? I immediately ran to get Major John, who went down to bang on the window. He was gone, so Major went to the front door and he had to knock several times before he got an answer. I am freaking distraught. I'm already so uncomfortable living here, and now this. I called the landlord to let him know in case they're trying to complain about us or if they want to try and start drama and get us kicked out, so he knows why. I am livid. The police have been called. I don't take stuff like this lightly. I just want to protect my children, but people always act like you are being dramatic. This is the last thing I want to be dealing with in this market. I don't know. Now my kids can't play outside like they've been able to for years when there was just a sweet old lady living below us. So we learn that this boy, Devin, has also been in trouble for masturbating in class at school.
Mhm.
Been suspended for a day or two for that. They did go to the police. This is what Kaylee said. We wrote our statements and are pressing the issue, and so are the cops. They were as helpful as could be. He is 18 and started crying and denying it. Then they tried to turn it on my kids, saying they were mad that they were walking down looking into their windows. We didn't see it walking down the stairs. We saw it from across our yard, 15 to 20 feet away, and it was still daylight out. So he was close enough to the window that we could vividly see everything. That is not okay. Like someone said above, he was positioned to where my daughter and then myself could see exactly what he was doing. That took some effort, and that kind of behavior is gross, disturbing, and unacceptable in every sort of way. I'm so sad for my kids right now, especially the child who witnessed this. She was white as a ghost and in shock. That is the last thing uh, my 11-year-old daughter should have to see. I also heard him saying he was getting dressed. She said, well, I've never in my life seen anyone getting dressed in that manner. So this is what was going on between these two neighbors.
Yeah.
And the situation had been reported to the police. The police were looking into it, but this all happened over a real short period of time. And
Right.
very quickly. Apparently, on Sunday, it happened again. And when Major discovered that that had happened, as we understand it, and of course, there will be more details to come,
Oh,
but as
yeah.
we understand it, he took a gun, went into their living space, and killed all four members of the family: mom, dad, Devin, and the younger brother.
Jesus.
Um, it's shocking. You know, there are articles coming out of Kellogg that say something about, father kills pedophile to protect his daughters on Father's Day,
Oh my
somehow
God.
glorifying this behavior.
Yep.
It is not okay. And, I don't think that, if Devin did this, that's not okay either. However, he
But
was never charged with anything, nor
no,
was it this man's job to be the executioner of anyone.
no.
It's a terrible situation. It has destroyed two families,
Yeah.
not to mention a community and many extended family. I cannot imagine the damage done in this situation.
Oh, across the board. But I don't care what happened. That does not justify that man
Mm,
going downstairs and shooting up an entire family
no.
at all.
And
And the people that are trying to make this guy out to be some kind of a hero are sick.
sick.
If
He
that's the kind
murdered
of
four
country they
people in
want to
cold
live
blood.
in, they need to move out because
They
that's
do.
not what this country is about.
No, not at
The
all.
police
Not
were
at all.
working on it. They were trying to get something together to be able to take some action. They were on it. But
Right.
there's only so much they can do too in the interim of trying to get some charges together.
Right.
It's so gross. It's such a gross display of, being macho to the point that this dude has destroyed the lives of his own children,
Mhm.
besides this other complete family, because he
Right.
couldn't control himself.
Right, because I mean, what else is really going on here? I don't think that we have the entire
Right.
story.
And we
There's no
probably
way we
don't.
have the whole story. What is going on with Kaylor that
Mhm.
his reaction was not only to kill the young man that's accused of this, but his entire family as well?
Right.
That leads in a that tells me there's way more to this story than what we know
Yeah.
yet.
Not
And
only that,
hopefully
his
we will find
family
out.
lived upstairs.
Yeah.
The trauma of his daughter seeing somebody doing that in the window is awful. And the fact that that ever happened is inexcusable. It's horrible.
It
But
is.
how do you think she felt about hearing screaming and gunshots downstairs?
Right. Right.
I'm sure that
Somehow
wasn't
that was
traumatic at
better.
all. Yeah.
So Majorjon Kaylor has a very small criminal history, mostly like misdemeanor traffic stuff and one
Mhm.
drug charge. He's never been arrested for a violent crime. No history of violence that we know of that has been
Mhm.
reported to the police. Now, as far as
Sure.
within his own family, I don't know. There's a
Mhm.
lot we do not know about Kaylor just yet.
Right.
But I think that this case is really, really important for us to focus on because we have gotten to a point here in this country that when people are mad at someone, they go and kill them. And we've seen it way too often. Or
Mhm.
if someone feels threatened or freaked out by somebody, they just go shoot them
Mhm.
with no thought really for the
Right.
outcome. I mean, how many times we just saw it with the mother that went to try to get her child's iPad back from the neighbor who shot her through the door and killed
Yeah.
her. Like how many more cases people getting shot for driving taking the wrong turn or knocking on the
Yeah.
wrong door, getting to the wrong
Mhm.
house and knocking on the wrong door
Turning around in
or
someone's driveway.
yeah, or trying to get into the wrong car. How many of us have done that? I have several
Mhm.
times and like the reactionary behavior and the immediately I've got my gun and I'm going to kill you attitude that we've got going on in this country is terrifying, and this is one of those examples that
Yeah.
I'm absolutely stunned by
Mhm.
this situation, that this is what this man chose to do
Mhm.
and that somehow this was the solution
Yep.
to
And
the
that there are
situation.
plenty of people right now that are actually singing his praises.
Oh my god.
That what he did was okay.
And
No
calling one of
one's
the
saying.
murder victims a pedophile, and
Right.
he was a kid. He was
Mhm.
18 years old, had not been charged with anything. And if he's having
Mhm.
problems like that, then definitely people need to be protected. But
Mhm.
is this how you do it? And then you murder his whole family too? No,
Right. And he
absolutely not.
probably deserved to catch a charge, and there was probably a charge coming.
Yeah,
But
there probably was. And had
all
they
of
given
that was
him
gonna
enough
take a
time, the
minute.
landlord would probably have evicted them
Evicted them
as
as well.
well. I mean,
Yep.
but it was going to take some time.
Yep. All of those things were going to happen, but it was
Mhm.
gonna take some time, and in the meantime, sadly, unfortunately, they probably needed to keep those little girls upstairs and not be down in that yard for any reason,
Right,
which
right.
sucks, but unfortunately, this is sometimes what happens, but it is so sad for all involved.
It's just
It's
horrific.
just yeah, it's just unfathomable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's something I think we have to continue to focus on and be aware of,
Mhm.
and that we have to work on better solutions than this because now,
Mhm.
there are more guns than people in the United States, and people are
Mhm.
very regularly just seeing the solution as blowing someone else away.
Yep. Yep. Without really understanding the justice system,
Yeah,
did Major John think that he was going to be held accountable? Did he just not
sure is.
care? Did he really
I
think that
think
he
in that
could
moment he
justify
probably
this
just
crime?
couldn't even was too angry to think,
Just
and
saw red too far? Yeah, maybe.
yeah,
Yep. Very sad.
very. Well,
Yeah.
we will keep you updated on what happens. I don't know if he really will plead guilty or if they will try to use some side of self defense. It's not gonna work. It
No,
absolutely will not work.
no, it won't. It wouldn't have worked if all we shot was Devon
No.
because that was not an eye for an eye or tit for tat
Mm-mm.
in any way.
No.
That in anyhow any capacity that would justify that. But to murder 4 people?
Yeah.
No.
Horrific.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Katie, why don't you wrap it up for us with a little more, oh, I don't know. Oh, Idaho.
Well, we've gone from domestic terrorists to absolute bonkers. Now let's go to his poisoner.
And this is actually not northern Idaho. This is our area.
Our area. We've been talking about the Corey Richins case coming out of Utah, where she
Yeah.
poisoned her husband with fentanyl. and then wrote that charming little book about how she and her children dealt with their father's, the grief of their father's passing. Well,
Mm.
luckily in this case, nobody died. But I want to introduce you to Jared and Courtney Goody. Jared, well, Courtney was in court today, actually, but I want to tell you a little bit
Mhm.
about Jared. So, Jared got really, really sick in June of 2020. He had lung infections, lesions, constant migraines, loss of hair, skin, fingernails, and toenails. He'd been told it was symptoms potentially related to having COVID 19. But this went on and on and on. And it just didn't make any sense. And then his mom and two sisters started experiencing similar symptoms. So all of these people in his family suddenly have all of this weird stuff. Jared's wife, Courtney, was taking care of him, taking him to his medical appointments, trying to help him. But Jared saw a litany of doctors, and nobody could figure out what was making him sick. And his sister was also dealing with symptoms, and she said it was really frustrating. Nobody could pinpoint what was the matter. So somehow they started to put some pieces together of some things that had happened and things that had been said. And they started putting together this crazy idea that what if it was Courtney? What if she's intentionally making us all sick? Now, when Jared's family came to him and said, "Do you think there's any chance that Courtney is causing this?" He was like, "Ugh, of course it's not. What are you talking about?" He didn't want to face the fact that that could possibly be the case.
Sure, didn't want to think his wife would do such a thing.
Right. So Jared and Courtney married in 2010. They had two kids and divorced in 2018. And then in 2019, they actually reconciled, remarried, and had a third child. So they've had kind of a rocky past and quite the
Mhm.
history. So in December of 2020, so this is 6 months after Jared first got sick, his parents sought out a private lab to test him for poisons because at this point, their gut feelings had grown and grown. Some things that they had seen, they just weren't sure. So they found a lab called the Carlson Company in Colorado that would test for poisons. So they extracted hair from him and sent it to in for testing. And it showed that he had potentially fatal levels of selenium in his body. Like, he was told that it was far beyond a fatal number, and it was surprising that he was still alive.
Mhm.
He also had higher than normal levels of rubidium, uranium, aluminum, manganese, and thallium. Thallium that's found in rat poisoning.
Right, like thallium is
Hmm.
super poisoning.
So they go to the Chubbuck police. This is in the Pocatello, Idaho area. And at first, the police are like, that seems pretty dicey. But they and told him they would need more evidence to pursue criminal charges. So they start recording conversations with Courtney. And she never really admits giving poison to Jared, but she tells him that she has easy access to a cattle vaccine that contains a lot of selenium and thallium and explains to him her understanding of these chemicals and how much to give a small cow versus a large cow. Even told him how much you would have to give to a human. And so they're convinced at this point.
Sure.
So they take all these recordings. At one point, Jared actually asks her straight up if she poisoned him. And she says, "I don't know, Jared. I don't know. Maybe I don't know." You
Maybe
don't
I don't
know.
know. That's not no.
Right. Oh, she said, "I don't know if I did it, Jared. I think I did it, but I don't know." What? So they take all those recordings and the lab tests. They go back to the police in February 2021. The detectives go ahead and open a case, and she was charged in March with a felony for aggravated battery by poisoning. That was in 2021. So Jared, knowing that these charges are coming, continues to live with her for a month because he didn't want to leave the kids alone with her because, she's trying to kill people.
Take those children and run, dummy. What are you doing?
Yeah. At this
Holy
point,
crap.
he also knew that she was being charged. So they both knew about the tests and the criminal allegations and the lab results. And he continued to live there with her for a month. He said it was absolute hell, but he tried to muddle through. Well, at the preliminary hearing, the felony charge was dropped. The prosecutor's office said that they did not have a strong enough case. Or the judge said the prosecution didn't have a strong enough case.
I mean, what?
They did find 2 vials of cattle vaccine in their house.
Oh my God.
So, but they didn't have a toxicologist or anybody in the preliminary to testify to what this could be all about or what was happening. So they dropped the charges. And a week later, they refile 2 misdemeanors.
Misdemeanors? She's trying
Hmm.
to kill him.
Hmm.
I mean, what
Yep.
would be what other purpose would there be here?
So eventually, they reach a plea deal. So Courtney just today or tomorrow, I thought she was in court today, but it looks like it's supposed to be June 21st. She is going to plead guilty to 1 misdemeanor battery charge. And that's it.
Oh my God. What about the mom and sisters? Have they been tested?
I don't know, but according to the probable cause, she told detectives at the time of her arrest that she was adding liquid poison to Jared's food and drink. She admitted to it. She told them
What?
that she got the idea from a now deceased family member and took the poison from a stash of cattle vaccines at her parents' house. She also told the police that she wasn't trying to kill Jared. Guys, she wasn't trying to kill Jared. She just wanted to make him sick enough that he wouldn't leave her.
What?
Yeah.
With selenium and thallium?
Hmm.
I mean,
She
he's so
didn't want
lucky
him
to
to
be alive.
die. She just wanted him to be too sick to be able to take care of himself.
Oh my God. Chubbuck Police, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And prosecutor and everyone else over there in Bandit County, what the hell?
Hmm.
Oh, this woman is terrifying and should
Well,
not
she is.
have access to her children.
No. While she was in custody at the Bannock County Jail, she made numerous phone calls. Uh, During one of the calls, Jared and Courtney told each other that they still loved each other, but Jared said, asked her, "If you love me, why are you poisoning me?" And she said, "I don't," this is when she said, "I don't know if I did, Jared. I think I did, but I don't know." No, I
Jared,
think no.
get the hell out of Dodge. What are you doing?
Hmm. Jared is still sick.
Yeah,
This
this is
doesn't
heavy
just
metal poisoning.
go away. He has to take Prussian blue, which is a
Mhm.
CDC controlled drug that's extremely hard to get. It traps thallium in the intestines and prevents it from being absorbed by the body. But he also has to have weekly blood treatments to remove heavy metals from his blood from the selenium. And surprise, surprise, his insurance won't pay for it. So his parents are just desperately trying to help save their son and help get him all of the medical care that he needs to recover from this, while they're really only kind of partially being taken seriously. I
This
mean,
is insane.
it is insane. It is nuts that this is happening and that she's getting away for this.
Also, have any other people died around old Courtney here? Because I will
All
be looking.
right.
Who is the now deceased family member? And how did they
Yeah.
become deceased?
Yeah.
Holy
It's
crap.
unreal. So they are fighting currently over custody. He has temporary full custody of the kids while permanent custody is sorted out through the legal system. But of course, she's only going to have a misdemeanor on her record. That's not going to keep her from having those kids.
That is
There's something really
insane.
serious going on here.
Right.
Really serious
And
with her mental health. My God.
this is the kind of stuff that female serial killers do. And you know who they
Mhm.
kill? Their own family.
Mhm.
And you know how they do it? Poison.
Mhm.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this is serious. It's really serious.
Not
Yeah.
that they're taking it very serious down there in Bannock County.
No, they're not. It's shocking. It's absolutely shocking that this is where it's at, especially listening to or reading what's in the probable cause. That
Right.
she literally admitted it and said she was doing it and putting poison in his food to keep him with her. It makes me think about the Corey Richens case. It makes me think of the dentist that
Mm-hmm.
we covered in Colorado not too long ago that was
Mm-hmm.
poisoning his wife's protein drinks, and it
Yes.
did eventually kill her.
Yes.
He is very lucky to be alive.
He is.
He's very lucky to
And
be alive.
there's no saying that his kids aren't next. I mean, he needs to get the hell out of here.
Right. Right. This is scary, especially
Holy
because
crap.
I don't know that the justice system is going to be on the side of the kids at this point. I'm
It,
afraid it won't.
this is shocking to me
It
that
is.
she is getting away with this at this level. It is
Hmm.
unbelievable.
Hmm. And I don't typically say things like this, but if the shoe was on the other foot and he was the poisoner, would he really just get away with a misdemeanor?
No, no way in
I
hell.
don't think so.
Not
Yeah.
not in this state.
No.
But we know that in this state, Idaho has a real tendency to be light-handed with women. We've seen it
Hmm.
before. It's happened
Hmm.
before. This is
Hmm.
shocking and scary, and it indicates some really serious concerns with Courtney and her
Hmm.
safety in the public,
Definitely. Definitely it
or
does.
should I say, the public's safety
The
around
public
her.
safety. Yeah, for sure. For sure. She's willing to do something like that. So we'll keep an eye on it. That guilty plea apparently is supposed to come in the morning. So they'll be hammering that out. And all the best to Jared and his family. My goodness. What a terrible thing.
Move to Florida. No, don't go to Florida. Go almost to Florida, so you're as far away from Idaho as you can get in this country.
Hmm.
Go to like one of the Carolinas, but not Florida. Get out of here.
Really not better. But yeah. Anyway, so there you have it.
Wow. Well, do you agree with us that Idaho is not okay?
Idaho's not okay.
Because it is not.
Mm-mm.
And this is only three of about six really terrible things going on in our state right now. And I'm sure there are more, but just of the ones that we are
And
aware
that is
of.
certainly not mentioning Valo Daybell or Koberger.
No, yeah, this is in addition to
Hmm.
those situations. So good Lord.
Yeah, we're a hot mess.
Well, we will keep you posted on all of these cases.
Hmm.
Now, tomorrow, Wednesday, we will be hosting our very first watch party. So, this is for members of our YouTube channel. If you join, it's $4.99 a month. Then we will be doing a watch party once a month where we will not be streaming an episode because, well, that's against the law. But what we will be doing is watching together an episode of a true crime documentary that we think would be fun to do together. So, Katie, if you wouldn't mind sharing with us what our very first watch party will be.
I chose this, and if it's really
Mhm.
terrible, I am sorry. I thought it looked pretty
It's a
terrible,
true
and
crime
it's frankly,
documentary, so it's going to be terrible.
it's why I chose it. Uh, it's called Killer Sally.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. So it is about this, well, killer who, she and her husband were bodybuilders. That's kind of what brought them together. And that also, I think she might have been stronger than him. But at any rate, it ended up in his murder and some other things.
Lord.
So there's three parts to this series. We'll just watch the first, and it is an hour long, and it is called Valentine's Day. So
Yeah.
here's the teaser. Sally and Ray McNeil met and fell in love via a shared interest in bodybuilding, but their seemingly happy marriage masks a life of violence and abuse. So, of course, trigger alert. As with all true crime, this has some bad shit in it.
Mhm.
I'm sure you're not surprised. But that's what we are going to be watch partying with together. So pop your popcorn, pour your gin. That's what we're doing.
And it's on Netflix.
Yes, it's on Netflix. Yep.
Yeah. So we will post that again just so that y'all remember, but we just wanted
Mhm.
to share that. We're just going to get this started and see how it goes. We just think it might be fun too. A lot of people have said it would be fun to watch some of this stuff together as a group, like we do with our live streams when we live stream court and stuff like that. So we're
Yeah.
going to give it a shot. But remember, you have to watch the episode while we will be live streaming what is essentially a chat.
hmm So we'll be here just like this, 4 members of our YouTube subscribership, but we'll be watching that, and so will you.
Mhm.
Hopefully, this is making sense.
Yeah. So you can chat with the
Yeah.
live stream while also
Mhm.
watching Killer Sally
Mhm.
episode 1. So
We'll find
join
out.
us for join us for that tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll be back. So Wednesday night we have our live case updates live stream. So that will be at 7 p.m. Mountain, and then at
Mhm.
8:15 Mountain we'll be doing the first watch party. So got a lot coming up.
Yes.
And make sure that you check out what we put out yesterday, and with the Cody Bixby update, it's a big deal. Corey Bixby finally charged and arrested for Cody's death, so that's big news. We're appreciative of that finally, and there's lots of other things coming. Don't worry, we know there's a lot going on in the crime world, but we had to keep it close to home tonight because Idaho, she's not okay.
No.
Well, you know it. We are the True Crime Squad. Thanks for being here.
Take care.